Hello, welcome to Walford United WFC.
Hi guys, Natalie here. Excited to be having this. I'm mainly with Bridgwater fans. Well, Stu, I put you in the middle there. Yeah. You're the neutral one. But yeah, Daisy, first time on the show. Thank you for coming on. Big Bridgwater fan. Well, just tell people about yourself and your journey into women's football and Bridgwater, etc., etc.
So I'm Daisy and I write for Since 71, and I followed Bridgwater for about 8 years now when we were formerly Yeovil, and now I kind of do matchday tweets and social media for Bridgwater.
You're massively downplaying your role. I kind of do this. You are basically the media manager for on a match day. So I basically do this. You're part of the team. You're part of the squad. You're going to have to kind of make sure you don't drop in too many things you're not supposed to.
Yeah, don't spill the secrets.
We'll get all the goss.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, about how United get on. But Stuart, thanks for coming back on. As per usual, we come to you, the guy in the know about a lot of National League. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to get back on. It's nice that I've been able to get an evening. I've managed to put the little one in the bath and done a very quick changeover at 2 minutes to 7 to get logged on here. So I'm doing my bit around the house with the family at least. So if we're a bit late coming on today, guys, it's my fault. Sorry. Hopefully the content and conversation will make up for it.
No, just a few people. Stuart, Norman, big games, yeah. TJ, John Fry, Karen. But yeah, Andrew. Hi. Yeah, we'll get onto that, Vincent, sort of why I think, but Daisy might know more. But yeah, talk to us about the game. Daisy, you were there, I was there. I want to hear it from your side. What do you think? How, a Bridgwater perspective, how do you think it went?
I think I'm better than expected. I think a lot of people would have expected Bridgwater to get absolutely thrashed, me included. I mean, obviously there's still a bit of belief that we could win it, but there always will be. But I think our keeper, Beth Howard, had an absolutely mad game and deserves a lot of credit for keeping the score so low.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, in that first half, we had a lot of chances, Man United, and Martha Harris had 2 or 3. I thought she should have put it away. I think that our players, I don't know. It was a weird one. We've got a massive week coming up, and I know that TJ mentioned it. It starts on Wednesday, and I don't know if sort of maybe that was on their mind. I'm not saying that they were. Mark likes to focus on one game at a time, and I do believe like all the emphasis was on Bridgwater, but maybe that had a part in the mind. But I think that pitch was definitely a leveller for us anyway. We like to play a sort of passing out from the back kind of way, and I just felt like we couldn't on your pitch. I'm not saying that obviously that's how you planned it, but even if you did plan it like that, it's fair play. I mean, when you wake up, what's the feeling been like around Bridgwater in the build up to this?
So excited. Obviously, we had the trophy visit us on the Tuesday before, and the girls are just absolutely buzzing. They couldn't wait for the occasion because they wanted to make such an occasion out of it, rightly so. And it was just a good occasion. I think everyone's excited, everyone's proud.
Yeah, it was a massive occasion, wasn't it? I mean, I know on the front of half we're talking about Karna, we'll get onto that, but just for like Bridgwater, when we walked in from a couple of Manchester fans on a bus, it was absolutely rammed and we couldn't move anywhere. And we've been to a few sold-out grounds, but that is like a stadium like that's the biggest I've ever seen it. Like, what was was it busy from the start?
I got there early and there were all the United fans arriving, and that was about 10:30 maybe. And obviously gates opened at around, I think it was 11 before I left to go with the team, but it was absolutely packed. I think our attendance is average from like 180 to 130, so it was completely different to nothing we've experienced as Bridgwater.
Yeah, there was about 2,500. That's what they sold anyway, wasn't it? Yeah, and it felt like that there. Stuart, I want to come in your thoughts. I mean, Mark Skinner did a few comments about Man United and we owe it to Bridgwater to play our best team and that kind of thing. Like, when you saw the scoreline, what did you think? Because it was only 1-0 and then 2-0 at the end. And I think you're probably watching the last goal.
Full disclosure, I've just been catching up on the highlights because I didn't know that they'd actually gone live just yet because I spent my Sunday watching Southampton against Bristol City. So I can give you a bit of an update on the scouting update on Fran Bentley later on. So obviously I was there as my press capacity. So I had the laptop there all out and I had my phone and all the devices set up. So we had all the scores going live. And the first thing I was quite impressed with, you touched on the fact that Mark Skinner mentioned about playing the strongest team. We all know that wasn't the strongest team, but I think that was the most sensible, strongest team on the day. The worst thing that could have been is if he just threw out everyone, his first choice team, as if it was a Chelsea game, and then there could be a risk that it could have been a large sort of 7-8-0 double figures if they'd been really ruthless. But no, I think Mark Skinner deserves a lot of credit for a sensible selection with a bit of experience, a bit of youth, talent, because he knows that a lot of people have come to see some of these big names. And it helped that obviously the goalkeeper, it's Beth Howard, isn't it? Yeah, it helped that she was in great form. And I think it was just a great advert for the Cup. Like one of our writers was at the Nottingham Forest Manchester City game. And while Nottingham Forest have come away with a lot of credibility, I think players have taken a lot from the game. They've enjoyed it, a real good learning experience. It was still an 8-0 defeat at the end of the day. And anyone that doesn't really follow women's football will look at that and see they won't see those positives. They probably don't know about the massive disparity when it comes to resources and facilities. So following it was brilliant. I kept checking. It's only 1-0. It's only 1-0. It's only 1-0. And I'm like, this is fantastic because I guess from a Bridgwater perspective, Daisy, everyone's there going, I know it's only 1-0 and they're pretty good. They could score at any moment, but then you're like, but so could we.
Yeah.
It's a real shame that equaliser didn't come in. I'm pretty sure that everyone involved with Bridgwater would have probably rather had a 4-1 defeat and had that one goal and that elation and having the goal crowd, because I know how good Nat and the Barmy Army is formerly known, but will always be known as Barmy Army as far as I'm concerned. You're such a big footballing community within that group that I think that the whole United section would have probably cheered as well. There'd be no getting on the back of the team, like, oh, this is disgraceful. What are you up to? I think everyone would be applauding it. And then it'd be like, right, okay, now we've got over the celebration. Now get your bums in gear, girls, and go get yourself a second. So I think it's a great day, great advert. And I think, it'll be hard to beat that atmosphere in a long time from everything I hear.
Daisy, what's your response to just suppose hearing Stu say a lot of that stuff? Do you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the occasion, I think it showed. There's a lot of comments, I think, on the Bridgwater post saying about how it just drew fans in and people wanted to come back and watch more of Bridgwater. So not only is it helping the Cup, but I think it's helping us as well and the National League get more fans in.
Yeah, definitely. Because I just want to hear from your side, I suppose, about Bridgwater, how you've done so far this season, not just your cup run, just generally, because I think us as United fans, we were a bit nervous about the pitch. We thought, oh, no injuries. Obviously, a lot of people's eyes are on Chelsea, semi-final. We've got a fantastic run, and I know you're saying there, Stu, about we all would have been happy, but I think there was a lot of not upset, but grumbles, come on, score, because I think we were expecting, I think it was even a stronger team than I'd expected. I think when we got off the bus, the team came through and people were like, Mary's playing, but that means in my head, I thought, oh, well, Sophie's definitely going to play on Wednesday. But, people were like, Mary's playing, Manion's playing, I think people expected to see Diane straight away. Well, I did, because I think I thought, we'd rest Aoife for these next 3 games. I'm sure Diane probably will play a bit at Chelsea and he'll sub some of them off. But I think we thought most of the rotation would be for this and then strongest Wednesday. So Daisy,
were a lot of the United fans getting a bit nervous at any point then? Was there a point of the game where you're like, did you feel comfortable throughout, or were you thinking, actually, hang on a minute?
I think I felt comfortable throughout, but I think at 0-0, I was like, why aren't we ahead? That's what I think a lot of us thought. Because, that's why I want to touch on your keeper, Daisy, and I suppose, like what I said, how you've done so far. Because the keeper, there was one shot in from Martha, cross in, I think it was Tooney or something, crossed it in or chipped it over. Martha, far post, stuck her foot out, and I thought, bang, goal. And no, she made a blinders save, and I thought, why can't you score? But Daisy,
it's probably worth chucking in a bit of context first, because Daisy will probably be able to tell us more, because it was only last weekend that you had a different keeper in goal, and it was an interesting story how that came about. So I think now probably let's talk about how it.
Go for it.
Yeah, it looked a bit different 7 days ago. We might have had a 16-year-old in goal.
Yeah, I think Jazz Reed has started for 2 games, 1 league, 1 cup, and then we've had Beth in goal for the whole rest. Beth's been with us for years. I think she's one of the longest served players we've got. So she's been in the WSL with us, getting to WSL, and now she's been with us for ages. And I think we're talking about it as Bridgwater fans, she'd definitely be up the player of the season alongside our captain Leah Burridge at the minute. I think she just holds our midfield really well, and then Fionn Llewellyn as well, who we've got as our defender. I think her and the defence worked really well yesterday, but throughout the whole season as well. We've only lost, I think it's 3 games, and I think that's credit to the defence as well.
Yeah, definitely. I can see Jonathan here with a comment, and I don't know Stu's point or if Daisy thinks this, but what do you think of this? Forest killed himself playing at the City Ground. Why give an advantage playing on a big pitch, big stadium? Forest should have played on their home ground on Astra. And I get it. You want it to be. You want to get as many people in. But I think Bridgwater, in a way, because we see it in the men's game, we do see it. When teams like us, Man United, Man City, they go to pitches where we're not used to playing on a pitch like that. I don't think we've ever played on a pitch like that. Maybe back when they were kids, they were played on it. But I could see as the balls were being passed, I could see what passes we were wanting to make. But the pitch sort of meant we had to think differently and adapt to it and, struggle in a way, Stu, I suppose, because he said it's your point. What do you think?
I think Jonathan's come up with a sort of a fantastic point there. If for a one-off game, he's bang on. It was probably potentially the wrong decision, or at least it handed Manchester City a slight advantage. But we all know my views when it comes to playing at stadiums. I think that Nottingham Forest should be playing all of their games at that stadium, barring any fixture clashes with the men's team. There should be a lot more games. Every cup game should be there. I can't argue against Jonathan's point whatsoever. If they wanted to win the game, then they should have been looking to play at their usual ground. But I guess they probably were more than happy as a whole club to hand over that advantage because of the sort of the financial gains and like Daisy touched on it. If you can get more people on seats, even if it's not your usual home ground, and especially at the National League, those clubs, it's all about retention and bringing over female fans of football and potentially bringing over fans from the men's team. Quite often, traditionally, you are bringing your family, so you might go down there to the men's team on the Saturday with all the lads. The stereotypes. Then you think, okay, well the women's team are playing, so I'll go down and I'll take my little ones, take my family to go and see them. And that's where everyone here knows full well how much of a great family atmosphere it is at women's football games up and down the pyramid. So I think if I do speak to the Nottingham Forest manager Andy Cook, and I think he won't regret that decision whatsoever. I think the one thing that he's probably privately a little bit peeved about, but he wouldn't tell me about, was the fact that they had to play 3 games in 7 days. They were playing Sunday, Thursday, and Saturday, which kind of blew my mind when you think about the National League has so many bye weekends where you don't have games. They could have easily moved that one around on the Thursday. So that I think that was the biggest thing that made it difficult for them, was the fixture congestion as opposed to the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. I remember actually seeing that Sheffield game just getting planked in there. Didn't make sense. Daisy, I just want to talk to you. Bridgwater men, do they play at that stadium as well? Then is it shared by both the men and women?
Yeah, so they share the pitches. It's just fortunate that obviously on Saturday the men weren't there, so the pitch wasn't too bad. So obviously, being at Man United, obviously they made sure the pitch was prepped and everything. But yeah, normally they share the pitch. I think the men are playing on it tomorrow night as well. Okay. So.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Like, they didn't play on it Saturday, but they've moved them for the women because, like you say, the women are going to bring in the attendance. I mean, do the men usually get that much, or you probably know better? Do the men get a bit more than the women?
I think it's like roughly the same. Obviously, that was the highest attendance against Bridgwater men and women. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, from the outside, it's actually just really refreshing how Bridgwater have embraced the team. Obviously, most people probably know by now that this is the old Yeovil town that were in the WSL through the much publicised financial issues, then split with Yeovil Town men's team to form Yeovil United, and then they obviously struck the partnership up with Bridgwater. And if most people are being honest, they probably, and I'm one of them, prior to this collaboration partnership, I'd never heard of Bridgwater. I still have I still probably couldn't even necessarily put it on a map, but they've embraced the women's team, and it really seems from the outside that there is a proper one club approach. I know Lewis get all the plaudits for being sort of the most sort of progressive team within the women's football pyramid, and the men's football pyramid. But it seems like Bridgwater have really bought into the women's team. They've welcomed it as part of the project, and everything seems to be going the right way. But Daisy will probably be able to touch on more about the ground redevelopment that's going to be happening over the next few years. The future is definitely bright.
Yeah, if you want to just fill us in about that, just for Bridgwater, and I suppose your views on when it all changed over Yeovil to Bridgwater. How was that experience as a
shock. I think no one really expected it to go to Bridgwater. We kind of got hints of it when they started kind of doing stuff with Bridgwater men when we were Yeovil United. But they're really good in terms of the women's team. There's a plan that's been set out for us to have our own pitch made. I'm not sure when that's happening. I think there's like financial whatever, all the behind the scenes part, but they plan to make us our own pitch. So obviously we don't have to share the men's, so there's more pitch as well. So yeah, they're really kind of into the women's team. I think that's where, when you go into the clubhouse, you don't just have the men's shirts, you've got the women's shirts home and away with the women's sponsors on. So it really is like a club that supports both the men's and the women's side.
Fantastic. I just want to touch on one thing before we get on to seeing people talking about Karna and Martha, and if you want to bring up any other player, Daisy, be my guest, and I know we'll touch on other score lines like we said, Stu. But the Equal FA Cup Women's Football Fan Collective, we had Susie Rack, DM, Rachel come on. I know you're part of it as well, Stu, and I know you did the article about it. And on 51st and 71st minute, we started to sing, put it out. I know Catherine Bates, she put it out, and Skinner supported it before, and then even your manager Daisy said after, we're only getting £500 from this after the defeat. It really isn't good enough. Just from your perspective, Daisy, when you heard about this protest that was happening, they're saying they're significantly increasing. We're waiting to hear what that is by. But just the difference between men's and women's prize funds, and is that something definitely you're behind, maybe trying to level it up a bit more?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously because of the income the men make, there's probably always going to be an increase in the amount of money they get, but the difference between it is just crazy. I think it was in one of the Bridgwater programs of how much money each team gets in each round for losing and winning, and it just baffled me how low it was.
Yeah, 500 quid doesn't seem right. Sorry, 500 quid doesn't seem right for everything you've done and everything, you know, all the viewers that are watching, and around the world, people are listening into the BBC. I'm sure people would have watched if they could, but yeah, 500 quid doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I think definitely, because if we were away, we would have lost a lot of money for being away. Like, it's fortunate it was home and that we lost at home, because obviously we get the £500, but if that had been away, I don't know how, obviously, we would have managed that.
Yeah. Go on, Stu.
I was just literally going to touch on that last point, because then the club, ideally, they're going to want to, if it was at LSV, they're going to want to take everyone up overnight. But it's not just the playing staff, the players, coaches, people like Daisy. So therefore, you've got potentially 25 people that you've got to house overnight, and it wouldn't go anywhere near it covering it. It'd probably be within a couple of £1,000 the club would have lost. So it does make a massive difference. And I know I've spoken with regards to our Football Support Association meetings, and even on here, how I didn't necessarily see that that the fight for equal pay was suitable at first. I thought, let's get an increase, let's try and match what we get, or what the men get in the FA Vars, but it's still significantly higher. I think offhand, the winner of the FA Vars gets 65,000, and even that in itself is 40,000 more than the winner of the women's team, or the women's FA Cup. But I must admit, listening to some of the arguments last week, I have changed my views. I do support the equal pay for the similar reasons you touched on in the episode previously. And if you haven't watched the episode, please do go back and find it. It's one of the best ones, one of the most informative episodes. Things like the FA Cup being it's a pot of money that it can get redistributed. There is money there, clearly, because it took less than a week for them to find money in their pockets for next year. And obviously, we're still waiting to hear how much of an increase that will be. Hopefully, it'll be suitable. If it's not on par with the FA Trophy, then I think equal pay campaign, I think that's going to ramp up even more. And I can't argue with it anymore. I think the way that I kind of thought about it in my head is you've got things like the old charity shield, community shield, and a lot of that is all of the profits there are to give money back to clubs. And I think, well, actually, that should be the point of the FA Cup. People talk about the FA Cup losing its magic. I don't necessarily think I'd buy into that. Maybe if you're fans of some big clubs competing in the Champions League, you might get a bit bored of it. But I think match-going fans still love the FA Cup, and that magic is still there. But if that magic could also, you're giving something back as fans. If you know that the money you were given was going to all these good causes, almost like how the lottery would do it. Even if it doesn't have to exclusively be women's football, it could be a whole host of community causes. Like if you were to say to Bridgwater, well, actually, we're able to give you an extra £5,000, but you can't spend it yourselves. You've got to find a worthy cause that meets certain criteria. That's a great move. It's
well, even if sort of Bridgwater, they say, £5,000. I'm sure Daisy would know it would go a long way. Do that redevelopment for the pitch, but then that extra money goes on your academy, or doesn't all go on maybe chasing to get up the league. It has to be distributed across the whole club and put in community centres and stuff like that. Stuff meaningful, like you say, and like you said, everyone go back and watch it. Susie Rack makes some brilliant points. I think she's one who we had a little bit of war with at the start, but no, what she says about it, I didn't think she would agree, but the way she put it, it was really great. And guys, I'm going to touch on the header first, but I just want to shout out TJ for just dropping this in. Martha Harris, come back, been a long time. Credit to her coming back on the pitch. I know Niamh Murphy's been on the bench a lot, and she's a right back, full back. Stu, just want to come to you. thoughts on Martha getting a bit of game time again, being out injured a lot of the season? Last time played was against Durham.
It's fantastic. It's one of the best things about Martha. It's the same way with Leah Galt and Kirsty Hansen. You've got those players that were still there from the championship days, and the more of them that are in and amongst the squad, the better. Martha is a bit of a cult hero, and that's because she's got the ability to actually to have an impact on that team. Whether I think that she should be starting if there's a fully fit squad, I don't necessarily know, but she's a good pro. She's a good pro that would walk into a lot of teams within the WSL, and especially the championship. And she just seems so likable. So therefore, we all want to see her playing. And it's great for the club. It's great for her. And seeing her having her smile around does make a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. And Daisy, I just want to touch on another big story. And I suppose from a Bridgwater perspective, how did it feel? I know United fans were buzzing when she came on, and we've seen all the headlines about Ollie, and this is the first father-daughter combination. And I'll touch on Karna and just generally like about her and what she's done. But like as a Bridgwater fan, being there when she made her debut, and Ollie was there watching, and there was a lot of cheers for Ollie when he came out of the stands. But how was it? Just I suppose yourself watching it, bit of history, I suppose, first father and daughter.
Yeah, I think it was nice to see. Obviously, the reception from United fans when she came on, you could tell it was a special moment, not only for her and the family, but for the fans as well. So obviously, you've been waiting for that to happen. I think having him at the game as well just made the occasion more special. Obviously, he's brought a lot of attention as well because it's been all over headlines. But yeah, I think it was special seeing how kind of much it meant to United fans.
Yeah, no, definitely it did. And I think it meant that bit much because it's like the first, I don't know if you know, Stuart, of it ever happening at any other club, father and daughter, or mother and daughter, or, obviously father and son, we can say that happens. But I can't think of a father and daughter ever, anywhere. If anyone knows, get in the comments, let us know if you've ever heard of it. But I think it's the first time it's ever happened in the women's game.
Right, I'm gonna tweet this.
Yeah.
Ask and put
the link. But just something. Go on.
I was going to say, no, just excuse me, not paying up my attention.
All right, yeah. Something that Jonathan's just come up with, and I saw this comment, Jonathan, if you're still in the thing, getting the replies. And I get it, it's far too early to get that level of excitement. We probably won't see her versus Chelsea, we probably won't see her, versus Arsenal. But I do think it is good. She's got 11 goals in 13 games. She's a winger, so people are expecting her to be exactly like Ollie. She's not exactly like Ollie. She plays on the wing. She came on, she was on the wing. Daisy, you were there. What did you think of her debut? Yeah, it was only a short period, but I thought she did well. I thought she held her own. I thought, she wasn't getting pushed over or anything like that. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't really know a lot about her. I didn't really know that she kind of was part of United. So I think she played well. I think she's definitely a good prospect for United in the future. Obviously, you've got a lot of players international, so I'm not sure how long it would take her to get in the squad, like occasionally. But I think she definitely proved why she's part of United and playing at a big club.
Yeah, because, Skinner even brought it up. He said, we are under 21s beat Villa. They're, Man United and Aston Villa are considered as having the two best academies, and she scored a wonder goal in that game. But like you say, I think it's a big step up from under 21 development level to sort of first team level. But what did you think, Daisy, when I suppose you saw the United squad? I know she was on the bench, Karna, but did you think, I know a lot of people expected to see a lot more kids on the bench. What do you think when you saw the bench, saw the whole team? It's quite a strong team, even though, like Stu said, there was players like rotation, Fuso and Thomas that probably don't start every game, but they're still playing regularly in the WSL. So when you saw that lineup, what was it? Still just the fear, or was it? No, yeah.
I was expecting a lot more names that I didn't know from the academy. I was kind of expecting maybe Sophie Bagley to start, maybe a bit of a weaker team. So I think seeing it did make me a little nervous because I didn't expect it to be as strong as it was. We were talking to the girls beforehand, and we were just kind of interested to see who United would bring. Obviously, we were trying to work it out before, kind of players we knew that travelled down. But yeah, I think it was stronger than a lot of us expected. But I think considering the players that United had out, I think we played well.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying, I think a lot of United fans, I mean, guys get in the comments, like, I definitely expected to see a few more development team. I know we had Neve Murphy, but I don't even think she was on the, and I think she was on the bench. And I expect to see Maria Edwards, maybe Rebecca May. I mean, are you in and around the dressing room then with the girls? Then when like team news is coming out and stuff like that, how was that feeling?
Yeah, I think the girls were getting changed at the time. When I found out, I was getting videos, kind of the girls warming up. I kind of saw it, and I think my dad was there. I kind of showed my dad and was like, United got one of their strongest teams out. They've got some great players. They've got kind of Leslie Russo on the bench. They're starting Ella Toon, starting Katie Zellum. And then I think obviously the girls, and I don't know if the girls found out prior to the game or when they came out, but I think, yeah.
Yeah. And warming up, they must have been like, oh, well, they're all here. Because we had, Diane Caldwell, and we had Signa Brun. I know Signa wasn't playing, and I know TJ sort of saying about all the singing towards her at the end. But, when you saw those like players that we've just signed and just been talked about, how was everyone feeling? Was it a good feeling?
Yeah, I think just more nerves than anything. Like, I know that the girls are nervous, but at the same time they're treating it as any other game. Like, this is like playing like a game in our league in a way. You didn't want to like overthink it too much. So I think it was kind of, are they going to bring the new signings? Are they going to play their development team? Because I know there were articles saying, oh, United bringing their development team in preparation for Wednesday. So it was kind of just unexpected to see what it was.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he brought the full team. Stu, did you get anything? I've got Amy here saying, can't remember if it's the same club, but Lucy stands for dad was a player. I know Katie Zellum's dad was a player, so whether they've...
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Yeah. Did you find anything?
Nothing's come back yet.
Nothing's come back yet.
It's only been 2 minutes, so maybe
well,
that's
I put you on Google as well. Amy saying surprise Edwards wasn't there. Maria Edwards, yeah, she's the only one who scored more than Karna so far. So maybe, I know that they're looking to keep her close. I don't know. That might eventually happen, Amy. I'd love to see it one day. But I think a lot of it's on players as well. And but yeah, let's see what happens. Stu, talk to us. You were also at another game.
Yes, so as I said, that I was at St Mary's Stadium to watch Southampton take on Bristol City. So I did get to see Man United goalkeeper Loney, Fran Bentley play. I was impressed. I thought she did well. She didn't have a lot of traditional saves to make. Southampton's game plan was to keep it very solid at the back and playing a lot on the break. But that doesn't imply that they were defensive, far from it. They actually were looking to... They had quite a lot of opportunities where they were looking to break through, thread through balls. But actually, a mixture between some of the passes, they're having a little bit too much on them, but also the fact that Fran, I don't know if she was at United, but she was a superb sweeper keeper. The amount of times that she was coming, charging right out, and she was clearing the balls even before it got anywhere near the D of the box. And she did well. There was only one occasion where her clearance hit her own defender, looked up in the air, so she had to backpedal a little bit while the Saints player did a little bit of an overhead kick. Fortunately for Fran, that shot went wide. But yeah, I was impressed with her. She looked like she was decisive. She was happy. As I say, it happened so often. It must have been about 12, 13 times that they were looking to put those through balls. But if they were anywhere near central of the goal, she was out there clearing it, getting rid of it. And I was impressed with her distribution. I was sat at the top, so I can't really comment on how commanding she was, but she did well. There's nothing she could have done about the goal. The goal was a cross coming from the left-hand side. It was flicked over by Katie Rood and sent with the goal, and found Ella Morris completely unmarked just by the far post. and she just side foot volley placed it into the far corner of the goal. It was a good goal. It was nothing that the keeper. If but a better bit of hindsight, she might have done something differently. Obviously, these professional goalkeepers, they'll be analysing it and thinking, "Oh, if I was stood half a foot there, then I could have done something differently." But to you and I, the football fans, it's not a great deal. It should have been a goal 9 times out of 10. So therefore, the pressure wasn't on her.
Well, definitely. I'm talking about Fran. I've seen her once, and I've seen Emily Ramsey. Well, I've seen Emily Ramsey twice, but it was against United, both of them.
Can I just interrupt?
Go on.
A second.
Who've we got?
Like Manchester City.
Oh, here we go. Same old. Who is it? Home or away?
I don't know. I've just
same old. We've heard it all before.
You guys. Can, I tell you what? Give me 2 seconds. Let me just get it out. I'd actually forgotten about the draw.
At home. So that's a good one.
Cool. Do you want me just to run through the whole draw?
Yeah, go on.
Cool. So actually, no, that's the results. Apologies. You crack on.
Yeah, I mean, Daisy, I know you're not a Man United fan, but I think even KC said it last year. We always play City. And I know in my group chats now, it's popping off. I'm showing the comments. It's rigged. And I know you can't say that, but it's very convenient that it's always Manchester City. It's very convenient, isn't it? How many times have we played Manchester City? And like I said, I think Casey said by the time it's always Manchester City versus Man United.
Yeah.
In the Conti Cup, in the FA Cup. Go on.
I think you see it with Chelsea as well. They always draw the same teams. Everyone kind of expects certain draws, and always a Manchester derby. Like, don't you play Manchester City like most opening games of the season as well? Always having derbies, but not saying it's rigged. But
yeah, what do you think? Do you think when you see that all the time, do you get fed up? I know that Man United fans are fed up now. Probably Man City fans are fed up. Like, I like a Man United Bridgwater. You like that kind of giant killing, because I suppose Southampton beating Bristol, that's a bit of a giant killer, isn't it? So
it's the only one. It's literally the only match where a lower league opposition beat someone in the higher division. There were a couple of games where we were looking at Leicester potentially. Oh well, here we go.
Leicester and Spurs, that's not really a giant clear because they're both in the same league. It is an upset. It's the
same league, but
there was Billericay took Coventry to penalties, so I mean that's what you do like to see.
There were some close ones. I think Birmingham were 1-1 for quite a while in their tie.
Yeah.
But there was no upsets. The magic of the cup wasn't as magic as it could be. And if we're being hypercritical, maybe there's a whole episode itself on the disparity and how actually it's a really good day in the 4th round, but actually by the time you reach the 6th round, then you, depending on the draws, like if we run through these, form would say that Everton should beat Charlton. Durham, Birmingham City.
That's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one. What do you think, Daisy? I think Durham could do him.
Yeah, I think Durham are a team that last few seasons have always kind of been the top spot. Everyone kind of hopes they get promoted, then you kind of get that the Liverpools, the teams that always end up overtaking them. But I think the most interesting draw there is a bit funny is Ipswich and Southampton, seeing as they're both in the same league, which is a bit.
So I think that adds to the magic of the cup, because then if they are one of those two teams, tier 3 teams, are going to, unless they get Durham or Coventry, but they're going to face a WSL into the later rounds. And this is where I say it probably is fixed, because that, if anything, is fixed in a good way, even though you can say it's not fixed, but that is a good tie, because like you say, one team is definitely going to get through.
So obviously the other one that's just probably couldn't fit on there is Liverpool at home against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So,
it
looks like
also, guys, what do you think? West Brom versus Coventry. I mean, I've not seen a lot of West Brom. I'm relying on you guys. Don't know if you've ever seen them. I've seen them a while ago.
West Brom are a good National League side, but Coventry should have enough quality to go past them. But I certainly wouldn't put it past West Brom giving them a good game. So you're looking here, yeah, that you've got a guarantee with Ipswich Southampton. You've got a guarantee of one National League team through to the sixth round, and yeah, that'd be quite epic.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
think the
John's
draw
saying
probably could have been a little bit
tasty
kinder
too.
in some respects.
Yeah, West Brom versus Coventry Midlands derby. But Stuart's saying what we all think, getting sick of playing them every single time. It's boring now. Just give it up. James, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, we're fed up. I'd rather have Arsenal. I'd rather have Chelsea. If you're going to give us I'm fed up. But they know it brings in big money on the telly, and I'm sure BBC will get their cameras for that, won't they?
That surprises me, because I would have thought that you'd be like, right, come on, let's get them, let's beat them.
Yeah,
knock them out. They're vulnerable.
I want Liverpool. That's the real derby. That's the bit of
next year at this rate.
Yeah, no, it's looking good. I don't know if this is Marty, but Durham will beat Birmingham, and I'm confident. No, I am confident on that.
If you'd have said 3 weeks ago, perhaps, but Birmingham are scoring goals now.
Maybe.
So I think now that if they can continue this little bit of form, I don't know. I think Birmingham will probably have enough quality to get through. Although I do openly admit Durham are a good side. They could certainly make it very difficult. And
I think
with
it being at Durham, that's where I think it'll go for.
Yeah, well, Durham. I've not had the pleasure of seeing Durham play live, being based on the south coast. It's a bit of a tricky one to get to. But from what I hear and the feedback I get is that Durham are a physically strong, committed side. They'll be going into that game 100%. And if Birmingham aren't on it, then they'll struggle. Maybe is there an argument that maybe they're going to be focusing on the WSL? I don't know, but maybe they're not. I don't know. That's something I'd love to hear Craig talk about. And I don't know if Craig's on there, but if he is, then Craig, chip in.
I mean, John might chip in as well, but I definitely think with Durham, I feel like maybe it's set with Liverpool winning the championship. So I feel like this might be their chance to show that they are can knock it about with the WSL teams. And I feel like, just from what I know of Durham, bearing in mind this is my opinion from the early days, they will make it tough. They won't make it easy. I think the pitch is a lot better than the one they were at when we went up. But I'm sure the magic of the cup, they'll do things to level it out. They'll no hot water and all that kind of jazz for Birmingham. They'll make them feel like they're definitely coming down a tier. That's all I'm going to say on that. Amy puts, go on.
What I was going to say is I just had a chance to look at the Katie Zellum thing we did about sort of parents and siblings involved, and parents and children involved in football. And she's the niece of a former professional footballer, Peter Zellum, and also her father, as we thought, Alan Zellum, who's a goalkeeper at Macclesfield. So we've got two. That's not bad for 20 minutes work.
Yeah. But did she ever play at Macclesfield as a kid? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we've got club, but the same club. That's
same club. Oh, thank God.
Yeah. That's what I think's the record. I don't think anyone's ever done that. Father and daughter at the same club.
No.
I'm sure there's father and daughter combinations, but I don't think they've both played for But I'm sure someone will tell us if we're wrong. This is an interesting one. And I suppose, Daisy, Stu, what do you think? Liverpool are in good form at the minute. Arsenal are, you don't know what Arsenal you're going to get, but you still got Miniman, you still got this one. I mean, I suppose, Daisy, do you think Liverpool can give Arsenal a go, or no, do you think they'll have too much?
I think it'll be a closer game than people expect, but I don't expect Arsenal to thrash Liverpool, but I expect Arsenal to definitely score a few goals and maybe play a bit of a weaker side, but still have a strong team out. But I'd probably back Arsenal.
And Stu?
Oh, Arsenal, definitely. It'll be a good game, but you look at the quality of players going forward, especially when they're going to have Iwabuchi back, Caitlin Ford back. Their forward line's just too good not to score goals. Liverpool, I don't know I think if Liverpool were to win, they'd have to score potentially three to four goals, and I think that's probably a bit of an ask, but I'd like to see him do well. I want to do well. Taylor Hines signed a new contract today, and she's a player I rate. But I don't think they're quite going to have enough to beat them. But hey, it's going to be a good test for them with their aspirations of promotion. So I think that Liverpool a lot to take out of it. And obviously Matt Beard, he likes the cup.
Yeah, I just think with Arsenal, what Amy said there, resting players, and it wasn't easy versus London City Lionesses, and I think now with more championship teams full time, we could see potential championship teams beating. I just think Arsenal maybe that step above. If you were talking Leicester, Birmingham, then maybe, but that's why I'm talking about Durham. And John has just added a Birmingham. I'm guessing they beat Sunderland, just about worth their win, but I think Durham should have enough at home. So John's back in Durham. Vincent says he hopes Birmingham wins. 6-0. I don't think so, Vincent. Can't see that, mate. Sorry. I can't see Birmingham beating Durham 6-0. They can see them winning, but not by that much. Go on, Stu. What are you saying?
I was just again looking at the draw. With West Brom against Coventry, you're either going to have a National League or a Championship side in the sixth round. So that's really good to see, because otherwise it's just a WSL party. So it would be great if because Charlton, as much as I think Everton would be too strong for them, Charlton are doing well. Yeah. Everything that they're looking to do, they're I believe it's Karen Hills, I think is the former Tottenham manager. Yeah. She's there, and they're doing good things. So it would be great to see Charlton push Everton. Ultimately, as a neutral, when it comes to this, I always want the neutrals to do well. So yeah, I'm excited to see either Coventry or West Brom or Ipswich Southampton in the next round, and if they could get a kind draw. I know Southampton well, and if they could get a draw against someone like Reading, West Ham, or even, to be honest, what they would probably love is Birmingham, who put them out last year in the fifth round. So I think it could be good. Much like how I feel like the WSL is getting that little bit more competitive. It's not a walkover anymore. It would be really good if we do get to see a little bit of that fall into the cups as well, because we know realistically by the time we get to quarters and semis, it's always going to be a WSL party. So if the rounds prior we get something there, then it's fantastic. And if we can see that gap closing, especially with the Championship, then brilliant. But we won't talk about the closing the gap between the National League and the Championship and National League and WSL, because again, that's a whole other episode, and I'll be on my soapbox. To be honest, you guys probably wouldn't need to be here. You just stick me in front of the camera, go make a cup of tea, go have dinner, have a shower, have a bath, and I'll probably still be banging on about the...
That's why it's fixed, because they want to have a few national teams. They want to show it's the magic of the cup. I know it's not fixed, but I'm telling you, the balls are heating up.
You'd have said, oh, Chelsea, oh, Arsenal.
Yeah. But no, it's good. It's good. It's been a good draw. Thanks a lot, John, for being watching. And I just want to touch on, I suppose, your guys' thoughts. Sina Brune, listen, magical signing. Obviously, Jade Moore's come back to Man United. I'm going to ask you about Chelsea. You both about Chelsea game on Wednesday as well. But just talk to me about Man United's transfer window, just deadline day, all of it's done. What was your thoughts and feelings when you saw all it come through? Daisy, go for it. When you heard of United's
I'm not massively kind of aware of like players from kind of wider countries, wider leagues. So it was exciting to see who United was signed. Obviously, for me, I think I was surprised that Jade Moore almost came back, because I think when she went over to America, she kind of went quiet and people kind of not forgot about her, but just kind of her kind of being back in the WSL. People remember Jade Moore because obviously kind of after the World Cup, she kind of got dropped from England as well. So maybe potentially, I mean, I don't personally see her getting back into the England side because I think there's so much more young talent, but it could be an eye-opener for her to get her way back into the England team, possibly.
Yeah, and Stu, Jade Moore, Diana, and John. Moore and Caldwell have signed, but only till the end of the season. Well, I think Moore's on a 2-year.
I think they're the right signings. I think last time I came on, I was saying that United don't need to go for your United States women's international players. They want to get the right players that've got a bit of experience, and I think he kind of hit that perfectly. So you've got in Caldwell, you've got someone that can play in defence, and we've got cover for Millie Turner. She's experienced. So she's not the sort of player that you're going to think, right, fully fit squad, she's necessarily going to be starting, but then maybe that's my ignorance of not knowing enough about her. But it's beefing up that squad with experience and ability. So she'll be perfect for that. Jade Moore, yeah, quality WSL player she's worth a start in probably 70-80% of the teams within the WSL. So that's a good player there. And I don't know much about Sydney, but if you're coming from Leon, you ain't no muck. And I know that you guys, especially you, Nat, you love your transfers. Yeah. So I think you'd have probably felt a bit disappointed if it was just all players from within the UK. So you've got your exciting foreign player as well. So I think you've almost kind of ticked each little box there. I think
definitely Signa is the one where most people, I think that's what enlightened it. I mean, she won Danish Player of the Year over Pernille Harder, so that says it all for me. 5 goals in one game. I mean, when we saw her, that's what got all the excitement after all the songs of Karna and all this waving at everyone and Mark Skinner blowing kisses.
So what can you tell me about her then? So what
Danish Player of the Year over Pernille Harder. Obviously scored about, I think she scored
about positionally
15, number 9, deadly poacher. I think she scored 15 for Paris when they won the league last year. She obviously has signed for Lyon after left Paris, signed for Lyon. She's sort of potentially seen there as she's seen as the backup for Hedberg, and obviously that's not what she wants to be. She wants to play. She's going to come in and be the number 9, no doubt about it. Like I said, scored 5 goals in one game for Denmark. Very good at headers. Headers are her main thing. I know people might get them upset. Oh, Leslie Russo will still play. Leslie Russo I see more as a floater, this is it. 15 and 19 for me. That's world class. So we're excited. This is the one. This is the level. I know Rich Lafferty wrote in the Norway paper about this being the one that we want. And Rich always comes on and talks about you need that harder. You need your Miedema. You need your care. And she's still young. She's 22-ish, 23, but 15 and 19. Can't get better than that for me.
Well, 19 and 19.
Well, yeah, but
I know, I'm teasing.
Who's got that? Tell me. No one. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Yeah. So we've got a big game coming up, guys. Just before I end it, I just want to get, I suppose, your guys' thoughts on it. Semi-finals, like who do you see in the final? See Man United beating Chelsea and getting to their first final? Stu, what do you think?
Yes and no. Normally, you just don't bet against Chelsea because it's just a bit foolish. But they have dropped points recently. They're still not firing fully. Still without Sam Kerr, so there's every chance. It's exciting. I don't think I would. If I had £20 in my pocket, I don't think I'd bet against Chelsea winning. But I tell you what, I'd be well happy if United could go and win. I think it's just great for football. I think Chelsea doing well in Europe is great, but none of us want to see one team just running away with it. So if you can show that they're vulnerable and people can pick up points against them, it just makes the whole league more exciting. So I think most people outside of Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City fans would probably be looking for United to win because I think it's a good story. I think it's going to get more headlines than a Chelsea 2-0 win ultimately. So yeah, for the good of women's football, let's hope that Man United win. And I can say that because it's not me doing the Chelsea press conference tomorrow, it's Ali. So obviously Emma Hayes watches this and it'll be super awkward when I then start asking a question.
I don't think Emma Hayes watches this, to be honest. But anyway, yes, I'd love a Jackie late winner. I mean, Jackie nearly scored against Bridgwater, and I think we would have fallen in the mud if she did. But yeah, Daisy, just this game on Wednesday. What's your thoughts? Can you see United win it?
I think I agree with Stuart. I think Chelsea always seem to be the teams that kind of get into finals, get into semi-finals. They're always there. So it'd be nice to have United there instead, because I think the top three the last few seasons is always just talks, always Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea who's going to win it. So it'd be nice for United to prove that the WSL is more interested and more teams can be beaten top sides, even though they are a top side themselves. So hopefully United win and get Chelsea knocked out.
Yeah, defo. People love to hear it. TJ
This is from one of Millie Bright's biggest fans.
TJ saying loves it.
God.
Be hilarious. Listen, let's hope it's us. And then Emma Hayes, don't know what she's missing. Yep, I'm not watching this show. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Yeah, they should be scared of us. That's what I'm next going to see. Obviously, Matt's on tomorrow, but there's no show on Wednesday because we'll be at the game. So if you're coming down, definitely get involved. There's an away section specifically for Man United. So I think potentially if you come down, you can still buy that away end. So, it's going to be a good game and hope to see a lot of you there. Guys, you want to shout out any socials? Daisy, do you want to shout out your socials or since 71? Go for it. Yeah, since 71.
It's Daisy Passmore 6.
Okay. And go and check out Bridgwater. Go and check out her match day content. And thanks, Bridgwater, for hosting all us fans. It was a great day. But yeah, thanks, guys. See you soon.